Hi friends, how we doing? Happy Monday, Art Journal Monday. Got my bins on today. Sometimes I just need them some days, more than others. I am supposed to wear them every day, but sometimes I just forget. Yep, exactly. Okay, so it's Art Journal Monday. Hiya Angie, how you doing, sweetheart? Oh, let's give you a little wave. Missed you, hope you're doing really well. I know that it's Amelia Pond's birthday today, isn't it? I know. Hi Ed, how you doing, Mary Sue? I hope you're doing really well. Hi Joe. Oh, of course it is. It's afternoon. Silly me. I'm in a totally different time zone, I swear. It's like every day is Sunday being on lockdown. So what do we think? Oh, I've missed you too, Angie. So what do we think of Boris's announcement? Slowly exiting lockdown. I don't think public transport's really... Hiya, Susie. Hope you're doing well. I don't think public transport will probably be until July, so I will still continue crafting at home until I am back on the road. But I'm still thinking that this is going to be a regular thing anyway. So, Art Journal Monday. If you see the colour palette, we're looking at Sage today. If you haven't got Sage, don't worry, it's not morning apparently, Sue. I've been told by Edilicious that it's afternoon indeed. It is 1 o'clock. If you haven't got Sage, easiest colour to make ever. As you can see, back of my wall, I do love a bit of Sage. I do indeed. Hiya, Eve Marie. I hope you're doing really well. I haven't seen you for a long time, sweetheart. So, the three colours that I'm going to be using to create this, and I'm going to be mix and matching. Now, what I've done with you as well is the past three previous Art Journal Mondays. Oh, it's 3 p.m. for you, Angie. Oh, bless you. Watching from hospital. Oh, rubbish. Oh, Joe. My darling, I'll feel better soon. I hope I will inspire you and make you feel a bit better today. Hiya, Chrissy. Oh, my craft mummy. How are you doing, my sweetheart? Okay, so if you want to make Sage, easiest colour to make, I am using Stamps by Me green acrylic. I'm also adding Hickory Smoke, which is quite a grey colour. So you've got the green, the grey, and a little bit of white here. That's Cadence paint, but I am going to be mix and matching and changing things as we go along. Also with the art journal, you've probably noticed 3 previous pages that we've done. So we've done the pink, we've done the blue, we've done the green. We've gone really heavy on colour. This time we're changing it. We're going a bit lighter, we're going a bit fresher. I wanted to get everyone really confident with colour and just get your hands in and get all mucky and get arty. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to have it slightly more structured, and also we will be leaving white spaces behind as well. So mixing your colours together, let me turn you around so you can see exactly where I'm going. Hi Janet, hope everyone's all right. So here's my journal book, you can see there, ready to go. And then I am working on a heat resistant matte as my palette. So I'm just going to take a bit of this beautiful green, absolutely gorgeous, pick up a tiny bit of grey, mix that in, and already you can see the difference. If you want it slightly dark, obviously add more grey, but then if it becomes too matte, just pop a little bit of white in and just waken that up. So really, that is the basis of how to make your Sage paint. Super simple. So I'm going to pick up a bit of this Sage. Obviously make sure that your pages are stuck together, that you've got a few stuck together, just to give it, stop it seeping through really. So previously we've done the green with the lemon, we've done the pink and the lilac and the blue last week. So with your Sage, you're just going to pick it up. I've just got a flat brush and I'm just going to pull it down in a couple of areas. I'm not going too heavy, too much, too quick. So just on the top area like so. I'm also just going to go in the middle, a bit in the middle, and obviously you can pick up as much or as less colour as you want. super simple. So just place that over. As you know, I do love doing double pages. I just find it easier because you're ready to go. So I'm just going to add a bit more green to that sage that I'd already created. And now I'm just going to add a bit more colour to the edges. So I'm going to go here, I think, like so. And then a bit just on that edge there. I hope you can see where I'm going with this. Now this is quite a dry brush. The reason why is I want it quite thick but still very malleable. There we go. So I'm going to clean out my brush now and I'm going on to create a slightly different sage. So now back in this colour I'm going to pick up a lot more white and I'm just mixing it in the middle. Make sure you really load that brush up with colour. And then I'm just going to start adding a few touches of colour. So we've got the centre, I hope you can all see here. Bit here, bit at the bottom. So we are just picking up where the previous colour was and we're going over that and we're blending it away. Very easy. There we go. So if you've got any patches that need just maybe a little bit more blending, just go through with it. There we go. Because it's acrylic, it dries lovely and quick, which is nice because then that means we can start adding layers. Okay, so this is our base. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to rinse my brush out a tiny tad and I'm going to pick up a little bit of that grey now. Tiny little bit of grey and just add it into that green just there. Maybe pick up a little bit more green into that colour and we will just add more colour. There we go. So I'm going to bring this grey green down here a bit more. Don't worry about it being too perfect, it really doesn't have to. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up a lovely big fat 2-inch brush. I'm just going to add a tad of water just to the ends. Then I'm just going to flick it through, so flick it over. So now I'm just going to dry this off quickly using my heat tool. And remember, using that flat, wide brush, can you see some areas have colour on and some don't, and that's exactly what I'm after. Sometimes it's harder to do these sort of pages because you're trying to leave space behind that is not coloured, but enough obviously to create the impact of the colour. Lovely. So going back to that palette before that I was using on my heat mat, now I'm going to pick up a brayer. Really, really simple. This is the Rare Earth one. And what I'm going to do is, if I put this on here, you'll be able to see. I'm going in the green, coming back and forward, but then I'm going right through them other colours as well, just to pick up all of that detail. Exactly the same again. And we want it like this. We want it a bit patchy. Can you see that? So I'm just going to, again, just go back into that colour and then bring it out a little bit. You see? Lovely. Okay, so while that's drying for a second, I'm just going to pop that to a side and I'm going to grab some book paper. Like I've always said, please be aware, make sure you read the pages first. I've done it many times myself where it's been a bit risky. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that brayer, going straight on. I'll just do a couple. You can never have too much, can you? So again, just picking up that colour. So basically we're just cleaning our mat as well, because we are just picking up all that colour onto there. But I'm going to go in a little bit of white as well to create a really patchy effect. Okay, so some ink and a blender. I'm going to make sure this is dry first, so I'm just going to heat set it quick to make sure that it is dry. My journal away for a second. Up now my bundled sage, but I'm going to rip some of this before I start because I want those beautiful edges. Okay, so again I'm just ripping. Let me move you back a bit. I feel like you just seem not enough. Okay, so again, got a few different ones. Excuse me. So I'm also going to go on this darker section here and a little bit here, but then I'm going to rip these up as well. So I'm picking up that bundled sage and I'm just pulling that colour round. There we go. So not too much, but sort of just enough, if you know what I mean. So now I'm picking up that frayed ripped edge. Lovely. A little bit on this one. Beautiful. A tad of colour just over the book paper. And you don't want it too heavy, you just want it enough to colour but not too much that it becomes too dark. Okay, so these are my next layers. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up my fan brush, go into my water, give it a bit of a flick. There we go, and then I am just simply going to dry it off. Blowing away today. Lovely. So I'm just going to pop them to the side and I'm going to come back to my main journal page now. Make sure that is lovely. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a beautiful stencil. This one, which is one of the new Stamps by Me ones, actually, absolutely gorgeous. And I'm going to take that bundled sage, but I don't want the whole of the design. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go over, but in quite sort of random places, just to get that relief of that outline. So you don't need to use the whole of a stencil. Sometimes you can just use a little bit, and it gives you that illusion. So again, I'm just going up here through the layers. There we go. So already I have that as a back plate, if you like. Next what I'm going to do is we're going to start stamping a little bit. So I've got this beautiful circle stamp here, which is actually a stamp from Tony Darroch. I think it's one of her older ones. Absolutely gorgeous. And I'm just going to pick up that ink on a tad of VersaFine and I'm going to offset it at the sides, so I don't need the whole stamp. You can see what I'm doing, I hope. There we go. Just down that side. And then if you're like me, and sometimes you can be a bit cat-handed, use your hand underneath to add that print. So then this one at the bottom here, this one's going to go right across the edge of the page, like so. Okay, so what we need to do now is I need to distance this a bit. So I'm just going to give it a little squirt from water, just to sink that in a little. And what I'm going to do is just add a tiny little bit. Can you see how it picks up where the black's not dry yet? I'm putting it in the distance. This is what you can do. Even if you've added a really bright, like Versamark ink, you can go over, add a little bit of water. I know it's not water soluble, but before it dries, then you can just push it back. Super easy. Okay. So next what I'm going to do is I'm going to go on to, where's that gone? Oh, it's there. I'm going to pick up my script. You know how much I love my script stamps. Oh, they're so good. So good. Going back into the green ink. And I'm just slightly reflecting that script with the circles. Okay, there we go. Right, so now let's come back to our book paper that we have, and I'm simply going to add it in to my position. So let's have a look. I want a build up there, like so. Oh no, this is how I start moving everything about the ideas I previously had. Like this, and then a tad there. Okay, so let's stick that down, she says, when she can find her glue. Oh, there we go. Oh dear, sorry about that, wobbling you all. Okay. So I'm just going to use a tiny bit of wet glue, if this one wants to come out. Probably not. There we go. This is just bookbinding glue. This is by Pinflair. Best glue on the market ever. Literally. So I'm just going to pick up a little bit of wet glue on the reverse, and then I'm just going to squish it across till it's in the right place. So add another bit of wet glue. Again, just enough to wet it down, but you don't want it bubbly. You still want the texture of them edges to come away. Like so. Last bit down, like so. Okay, so now what we're going to do is I'm going to go back to my beautiful palette that I have here, and I'm going to pick up some of this white acrylic, mix it in with whatever was left on the palette that you have, and we are going to come in with our fingers, scraping across. There we go. Now, as you can see, I'm not taking away all of the script, but just a little. And by adding that white, don't get rid of it completely, but what it does is it sets it to the back again. So rotate as you go. There we go, a bit more on there I think. Just going to blend that green line out a tad. There we go. You can see where it needs additional colour. And you can see it's more of like the technique to put this on. It's more of like you put it on and then you just brush it away so it sits on top of the layer. There we go, right, let's dry that off. To move over to watercolour before we use it. Right, hold on a second, I'll be 2 seconds. Hiya, my Sydney's calling me. I'll be 2 seconds. Sorry, just look at my project and I'll be back in 1 minute. Hiya, sorry about that. Do you know what happened? He can't reach the pool to go to the toilet, bless him. The joys of being 5, eh? Right, let's get back on with this. Let me see where we are. We're going on to watercolour, I believe, next. Let's have a look. Are we in the right position? Yeah, about there. It'll be fine. There we go. Okay, so my beautiful dirty palette, as usual. I'm going to use some pigment ink. This is the concentrated pigment ink by Stamped by Me. I should give myself a little bit of space really, but I'm not going to. And I'm just going in here. I've also got the Rare Earth concentrated watercolour drops. Pop a little bit in there. You could use maybe crayons. It's completely up to you. So now I'm going in my water. I'm just going to make sure all my brushes are clean for a second. Here we go, and I'm going in here first of all, and see how you can make it really bubbly. Beautiful. So, hopefully you can see where I am. I'm going to go in, going to come down, in again, sorry about, I can hear my children in the toilet. I don't know what's happening. It's probably best not for me to know because I think they're up to mischief. So I'm just adding, now I've added that watercolour, I'm just going back in with my fan brush just to create some texture on there. going to dry that off again. Also, if you are struggling to make it, if it sits too far away from the chocolate, that's what I'm saying, you can add water and then allow it to drip down. Or you can go back in with your finger and just blend as you dry. Too heavy, go back in with some water and then just push them drops away. So you can see by down here, adding that watercolour on top of the book paper that we've got with the layers, beautiful. Okay. Scissors and do this bit before I forget, which is I'm going to cut the excess off of the reverse. Also, that page should be stuck to that page. There we go, roots. Then turn it on reverse. Perfect. Let's have a look how we are doing. Lovely. Okay, so now we're going to start doing some stencil work with this as well. So I've got an array of different stencils, script, of course, because I love it, numbers. I've also got some textures as well, so I think I'm going to put the honeycomb in with this. So now I'm going to go back in, but in a slightly different colour. Let's have a look. I think I may add in a little touch of Tattered Rose, just a tad. You don't need a lot of colour, but just enough. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to pick up that Tattered Rose, absolutely gorgeous, and I'm going to go over the numbers. So it will do a couple of things here. It will go on top of all the acrylic paint, on top of all the watercolour paint that we've added. Also on top of the book paper that we've added in as well. Now this is very subtle. I really didn't want it to be empowering over the green. If that's the effect you're after, then brilliant, but I think for your first lighter page, I think this will be a lot more simpler. So coming out of the Tattered Rose now, I'm going back in with the Bundled Sage. Just make sure that's nearly dry. And again, over the same piece near enough, but slightly off. Adding that effect in. So on top of that, now what I'm going to do is take my script choose what side, this side. I'm going to grab a bit more of that beautiful acrylic paint, or just wipe your whole palette, mix everything together on your palette with a bit of water. It will mix. I think I will just pick up some of this beautiful green paint. Here we go. Then this is how everything mixes together. See that paint that is sitting on there? Again, I'm taking my blender sponge that still has green ink on, but now I'm picking up that acrylic paint as well and pushing that through. Let's add a bit more on this side. So you're just connecting all of the layers now. Very, very simple. Now the next bit I want to show you is a pocket. How to create a pocket. So I've taken again a piece of book paper. Where's the book paper that I coloured? Aha! Here we go. So let's pop this to a side to dry for a second. And we are going to make a pocket or an envelope from this piece of paper. So we're just going to fold it into the centre. Very simple. Pull up the bottom, pull down the top, then we're going to open it, and see these four corners, we're going to cut them away. One, two, this side, away. Oh, hello, Doris the cat has come to join us, everyone. You all right, Doris? You all right, missus? Just like so. So I'm going to leave that edge because I quite like that, but I'm just going to take these corners off, just round them off a bit. It just makes it look much prettier. So now I'm just going to add a bit glue. That side, bit of glue, opposing side, bring that up. So I'm just going to take that edge off. Oh, come on then, Doris, if you want to come and say hello. Come on then, can you get out of my box of stencils, please? Right, Doris wants to say hello. She's my cat. Come on, sweetheart. Here she is. Say hiya. Isn't she the most beautiful little girl you've ever seen? She's got a little love heart on her eye. Her name's Doris Dotty McFly, actually. She's named Doris after Doris Day. Aren't you, sweetheart? Right, go on. Off you go. She just sits in my boxes all the time. Ugh. Or her favourite thing is, especially if I've got... oh, thanks. Especially if I've got... a palette, especially paper palettes. I use them quite a lot, and she's forever sitting in them. And then, of course, because she's white, she's like little coloured paws or like a smudge up her face, bless her. Right, let's get back on with the envelope that we are creating. So now I'm going to pick up a little bit of bundled sage, and I'm just going to get a little bit of definition with this, just around the edges. Too much, just pull it round, circling, just all on them edges. Don't forget the flap of the top. Now obviously yours can be square, yours can be triangle, whatever you prefer, but I really like that ripped effect. A little bit just over the top, like so. I'm going to do a bit of stamping on this now. I've got my beautiful circle stamp with a little love heart. I'm going back into that green. So it's the colour, it's the same tone on tone. Perfect. So pop that to the side for a second and we will go back to the journal. Again, that circle stamp. Try not to use the whole thing, because what we're going to do is we're just going to take away, it sort of gives you the layers of where you need to go. Oops, it's a lot. Sorry, I got a bit stuck in the paint then. There we go, a bit more. Lovely. Right, how are we doing? Can we see what we are doing? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, so now I've got my envelope. I'm going to pop that on there. So I'm just going to glue that down. Again, just use a little bit of bookbinding wet glue. Little dots. And I will see where, actually I might go this side. I'm going to go this side. Here we go. Just like that. Now, die cut sentiment. Let's have a look what I've got in here. Oodles. Here is one. Everyone needs a friend like you. Sorry if you can hear my children shouting. I don't know what they're up to. Being little monkeys, I expect. That's what they tend to do best, don't they? Now, I didn't have enough glue on that, so on that foam pad, on that envelope, sorry, I'm just going to take that off and I'm just going to have a foam pad, because I would actually like to lift that away from the background. Otherwise, this is the problem. When you're doing tone on tone work, it can get lost very easily in the background. So you've just got to get it so that makes it pop a little bit more. So here's my sentiment. Everyone needs a friend like you. And again, I'm just going to add a little bit of wet glue. And I'm going to tap that in. So let me just use a bit of scrap. And I'm just going to tap that in. Okay. Now my sentiment I've cut on 300 GSM. Beautiful. Okay, so now I'm just going to take a little tad of the green and I'm almost just going around the edges. Okay, lovely. So if you wanted to add in more colour, you can very easily go back into your colour palette that you have. And I'm just gonna highlight, or low light shall we say, some of these layers. And you can just add a little bit of darker here and there, just to pull it together if you want to go around those edges. There we go. There we go. Also, I'm going to come down here and I'm just going to add a little flicker of colour just around that edge. Oh, hello Doris, you've come back again to see me. A bit of water on there, and let's just spread it around. There we go. Doris, can you get out the glue, darling, please? You don't like glue on your feet. No. So there's our pocket. So you could put, you know, whatever you wanted to go in there. Let's have a look. I may have a tag here. Perfect. So we can add a tag there. We can also cut down tags. These are great. These are like little chipboard tags. And then we're just going to take off that corner. You can use a penny straw round or use a corner punch if you've got one. I have got one, but it's obviously in a very special place at the moment. So now I'm just going to, no, I'll leave that as it is. And I think I will add one behind there. So a little flit of glue. Pop that in there. Little flit of glue. Just pop that there. Everything ties together. So let's make sure that's straight, because that helps. A little tad of glue. Just going to place it on there. I'm going to take my script stamp. Onto that, just so everything blends. Oh, this is the trick of not having, or not using an acrylic block there. It's actually the right size. So you can go freehand as well if it's easier. Take it off the block and then just go with it. There we go. A tiny little tad of colour just around that edge. But you want it quite a dry brush, so it gives you the brush marks. Okay. A tiny tad. There we go. Let's have a look. Hiya, how are we doing? So, we've learned to do a sage. It'll look so much better when it's dry as well. Let me give it a good old dry. So that's the thing, when you've got wet patches, you just can't see where you are with it, can you? There we go. So we dry it off. Then you can see the colour's so much better. With blue last week, did you notice that? Once you dried it off, it just didn't look half as dark. Okay, so next week's class, friends, of our art journal, it's going to be orange. So orange, peach, pink, maybe a little bit, not too much. So there we go. We have our sage journal page. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. You ought to see my hands. I'd love to see your hands too. Look at mine. Mine are green and sticky. Oh, it's the fun though, isn't it? Isn't it so much fun? So thank you so much. So next week's going to be orange and peach and maybe a little bit of cerise in there. Thank you so much, Sue Green, and of course Sue Lawrence. Thank you for choosing to spend your afternoon with me. I will be back on Wednesday. I don't know what I'm going to do yet. We'll have a look and see. But obviously we will be crafting, and I hope that you can either have you seen I do a monthly subscription? So basically it's 5 projects sent to your door, £15. Now you can pay as you go or you can pay up front, completely up to you. You'll have all the pictures and all the tutorials sent to you as well, and everything is in the box for £15. This month for May has been absolutely amazing. We've done a plant pot card, loads of different styles and techniques. Next month is available to buy now. You go to my blog, it's Carly Duff Creations, just go along there and all of the instructions are there ready for you. Also, if you want to keep up to date with all my videos and maybe you're not on Facebook and it's a lot easier, go straight to YouTube. I've got my own channel on there as well. So, take care, have a wonderful day my friends, and I will see you on Wednesday. Take care, see you later, bye bye.